think the first distinguishing factor is not what the business does, but the level and depth and duration of the commitment. It's something that I think that is missed.
The quote today is gonna be from Archimedes. I know you want him, and he's quoted often. The weird thing is that the quote seems to change, depending on there's like so many variations of that quote. But I would just give one that I read in Peter Drucker book, which is, "Give me a place to stand on, and I can lift universe off its hinges." The reason I'm quoting this is that the important part of this quote is the place to stand on, and how it relates to business, meaning that people come to us and they want to go somewhere. It's in their become a bigger fish, make their business greater, better, make more sales. But usually, I think in your experience, the first part of the process is basically to figure out where they currently are, or who they actually are, and what their business actually is. So what Peter Drucker would say, like the decision on concentration, the area which gives the business most leverage. So what do you have to say about that whole process? Like, what are the strategies to do that? Like, what are some mental models you use to assess that? Or like, what are some common problems, myths?
I mean, we could do exploded view on it. I take the individual components, kind of pick them apart. So as a business owner, I don't work with startups anymore, right? So that's something that I have spent hours, probably 20 plus hours, training folks on our team to spot startups or startups in disguise, people that, I had someone the other day. So yes, it's an established business model. Yeah, but this is a new business. Like they've never done it before, or never done it professionally, or never done it full time, or never have done it for money. If we're looking at business specifically, it isn't a rule. There's plenty of people that have a regular day job and have side hustles, right? And that, I think the first distinguishing factor is not what the business does, but the level and depth and duration of the commitment. It's something that I think that is missed. That's everyone talks about positioning, right? How do I position my brand? How do I position myself? But they rarely ever talk about how long it took to get to that position sometimes. And they definitely don't talk about how long they've stayed in that position. The New York Times bestseller list, I was just talking about Atomic Habits, James Clear's book. And that's, I think, one of the most successful personal development books ever. And it was measured. Its measurement was based on the fact that it was on the Amazon. It dominated 5 categories at Amazon, New York Times bestseller list, Wall Street Journal, all of these lists, but it stayed there for a long time. It was its staying power that was interesting. So I think that the voodoo way in this case is not to talk about industry vertical first, but by time. And then people overlook that a lot. They overlook oh yeah, everyone has decades of experience or hundreds of years of experience combined across my team. But big old but, even though that's an overused tactic, I think that it's at least internally, maybe not as a marketing ploy, I think that it's important to determine time. And there's folks that, yes, I've been in digital marketing since 1999, right? And if someone says that, and that's all they've done, and maybe they've had a lot of different jobs, and maybe they started in website stuff, and then they went to SEO, they went to this, and they like kind of traveled a bit. I have like a much higher level of respect for them because they've been in it for so long. And even though they might not be number one anymore in their profession, and that's the thing here, is there's this idea of the practitioner, the consultant, the boss, the entrepreneur, and where they live. So those are two very, very different things. My identity hasn't changed that much over the years, but my position in the market and where I've decided to go and where I've decided to leave has changed a lot. So people typically, I had someone describe me as well, scrappy and as a survivor, and it's very true. It's very true. I've also had people say that, oh, you're not making X million dollars a year right now, and you've been doing it for that long. What are you doing wrong?
Hmm.
So two different.
And what would you say, like, if I had the counter argument of saying that now the world and the market and everything around is changing so fast that the number of years someone has done something really does not correspond well to how like how knowledgeable, like how up to date they are with like what the current needs are in the market, you know what I mean, that someone can come in and swoop in. So like how does the
Oh,
years.
yeah. No, when you start talking about the protection of your position, like how do we? It's, I would say it goes way, way beyond Warren Buffett's moat. He wants investment opportunities that have a wide, deep moat around it. It's very difficult to duplicate that business. In the business I'm in now, the mechanics of the business are simple to duplicate. You could hire writers, you could hire marketing nerds, you could hire, e-commerce strategists, we could hire ads people, we could hire, I mean, all these people exist, right? And so my business itself doesn't have that much, well, that
Uniqueness.
much insulation, not much protection from competitors. It just doesn't. Like we were in like the top number 4 spot, I think, on Clutch for a good like year. But we let our guard down for a bit. We got busy serving clients and not chasing reviews, and now we're like maybe like 9 or something. Like we got kicked way down the thing. Granted, it's very close. The level of variance is small there. So I imagine if I went and bribed a few people for reviews, I could probably get it back into the number 3 or number 2 spot maybe. Right, that's doable. But the fact that it was that easy to get knocked down, but it's going to be that easy to go back up. Actually, it that isn't a very, what do they call it, investing. I don't have a very defensible position right now. However, my
What
team
war? Yeah,
is
go ahead.
very defensible, and I am very defensible. So if we had to close shop tomorrow and go do something else in the marketing space, we'd be able to do it.